Going live on YouTube and Twitch right now. Hey everyone, thanks for joining. My name's John. I'm a software engineer with about 10 years of experience, and I am developing Aria's Tale, an AI-assisted RPG. In front of us, let me share my screen. So in front of us, you can see an image, which is an AI-generated image based on the campaign that the players were playing, and I was co-DMing with GPT-4. So this image was generated like just in time, and it becomes part of the episode canon. And then over time, eventually, we will create a book. And so this is like an experiment in art. I have a fun clip. Let's see. I have a fun clip about art versus corporate work. Let's see this. Quick TikTok. Okay, so you get the picture. So I consider Aria's Tale to be a generative AI art project, and it's something I'm personally passionate about. I'm a big nerd for RPG games and strategy games. It's loosely inspired by Sword Art Online, the Matrix, Dot Hack series, and a number of eclectic sci-fi and fantasy-related games and shows that I find interesting. So I'm very much making this for myself, and I hope that it turns into something we can all love when it's finished. Part of the generative AI experiment, in addition to dynamically generating campaigns that were not predicted ahead of time, images, and also video. And that's what today's video is about, is reviewing the state of generative AI video for purposes like this. Another aspect of Aria's Tale, just because we're going over what it is, you can visit it's open source, and you can visit the repository here. Another aspect worth mentioning is that it is social and collaborative. So every episode is streamed. You can go over to my YouTube channel. On YouTube, I'll put a link in the description to a playlist. And the chat impacts the game world. So Aria, the name, is based on a character who is generated by the chat. I had no plan for a character called Aria. And I think that's so wonderful that I named the game after her. And it also dovetails with programming, because Aria attributes are an important concern in web development. So that was all not predicted, and I thought it was really cool. So that's where it gets its name from. Okay, so today's topic, we are looking at these three, and I looked at four, but one of them I just wrote off, and I'll get to why. Generative AI tools and the results, okay? And what prompts that I used. So first, I said, let's do a trickster in a tavern who's playing a game of coin, or a game of cups, where you hide the coin and you shuffle it around and you try to pick the right one. So kind of a mini game idea. And the idea was going to be, I could generate this video and show it to a player and then have them pick the answer. So starting off with Decohere, and I used this prompt in the gamut in all of these tools. So this was the result. You can see it decoheres rapidly, unfortunately. And the video is only 4 seconds in length, and the warping makes it entirely unusable. And this is the theme for all of the tools, basically. Here's another one. This has got to be the worst AI video out of all of them. You might think that the initial picture is pretty cool. That picture is a game character image generated over in GPT-4. So this is a character called Eidolon, who is an elven rogue. So this is a video that is seeded with a combination of image and prompt. So there's a few ways you can prompt these generative AI video tools. You can do text to video. You can do image to video. You can do both. And you can also do video to video. And I tried out all of these. So this was an attempt to animate the image, but really it basically zooms in and smushes idling. So this was probably the best video. And this is a demon that's supposed to be pulling a dagger out of a dead body. It's just holding the dagger, but it does have a bit of movement, and it doesn't devolve, although it also doesn't move much. So it's just sort of a wiggly demon, but it looks kind of cool. So it's potentially usable, although it's limited to the range of 3 or 4 seconds, which is not very useful for any media application. It's not entertaining to the gamers if I pulled it up. There's one application that I can think of where these things would be useful, and that is if I turned them into a GIF and made a character picture that is a GIF. And instead of a flat image, it's almost a flat image, but there's some subtle movement. So that's pretty much the limit of the application of these AI tools. This one was supposed to be, there's a floating island in the sky and like a Final Fantasy style magical machine dropping them off on this island. And it turned out very strangely. Let me show you the actual prompt. There isn't much movement here at all, actually. It seems to have just generated a flat image. And there's two of these things, that's fine. A bunch of characters facing forward, which is strange. They aren't like deboarding the craft as prompted. Let's see if I can see the prompt. I'm going to press Command Z for a bit to see if that gets us back to the prompt. And then we'll view the final one together, which I haven't seen. Okay, so here's the prompt. The adventurers deboard the magic flying machine that brought them to the Sky Island. Okay, and they weren't doing that, were they? This one, I have not watched this video, so maybe this will be better than the demon one. The demon one was sort of the best one that I saw from Decohere.ai. If you're enjoying the video, tap like to make sure that the algorithm spreads it around. Okay, so here's the prompt for the elemental dragon we're about to view. The elemental dragon calls down a giant crack of thunder. An explosion of energy rocks the surrounding terrain for miles. It's okay. It's okay. Again, if I were going with the idea that I just wanted some animation on like a TCG card, it's not a bad image. And then you have some movement of this this bit of ground, which is fair enough. Definitely not the worst one. So I could see this as being usable, again, mostly in that sort of GIF situation. So that's it for Decohere. So let's go to the next one. Let's say this Runway ML, I'll tell you, was the best one that I tried. So we'll save that for last. Let's go over to Pika. And I want to be fair because I'm using what appears to be a dated version of Pika. It's the best publicly available version. But Pika 1.0 is not currently available. And it looks like it's going to be pretty cool. So I'm on the wait list. I don't have access yet. Maybe like I will probably give it another try. I don't know if I'll do a whole other video. Unless it's a success, then I'll do a whole other video. When Pika 1.0 comes out, it's supposed to be substantially better. So you're seeing a bit of a dated Pika model, but in any case, it's the one that I can access today. So I'm dragging over Discord. This one is accessed through Discord. Pika 1.0 is accessed over the web, and this is pre 1.0, which might be confusing because it's the first available one, but it's like a index of 0 sort of thing. So this is 0.x, Pika model 0.x. And there are all these channels and people are generating things all the time. A lot of these are people uploading pictures and then asking for those pictures to be animated. And it seems to do a fair job at that. I'll just click a few of these. So if you provide Pika an image, it seems to do a fair job of animating the image, which is cool. Let's see if I can quickly find my trickster. Okay, so here's my trickster. This was not an image. This was just a text to video. And you can see a trickster shuffles a coin under 3 cups in the tavern, comma, and then there's some Pika specific meta information. So at the end of it, you can see the coin is in the hand. So it's not usable for my purpose, which was to shuffle it around and have the players guess. I mean, how do you want to evaluate it? It's kind of good. It's arguably better than the other one from Decohere that we saw, but it's still not good enough and it's still not usable. And it's only 3 seconds, right? Let's look at a few of these others. I think we can see that it could do a good job. It could do a good job, again, at the sort of animating this character thing. So let's say this is a picture of the character, and then you just get some light movement in there. This one has substantial movement, and you can see the crazy warping. And it looks kind of creepy, actually. It wouldn't be very good media, I don't think. Let's see, I'll do a couple others and we can move on. One that was very cool was also animating the background sort of the world. We're getting close. Let's take a look at this. I haven't seen this one. You just see like some birds flutter. It almost looks buggy. Okay, this one. So imagine that we just have a picture of a character and then we just want to animate it. I think this would be great. Oh, I didn't mean to click it there twice. Sorry about that. To sort of turn this into a looping GIF. And then this one looks really cool as well. Again, with the looping GIF idea, but in this case, the application would be like the sky. And I could see it doing a good job there as well. So you can see the stars are sort of, they're moving in an interesting circular fashion. And this was a rare case where I thought the animation was quite good, using this old military photo for whatever reason. Totally short. It's not like a usable video. It would be extreme work to make, what, 1,000 of these and stitch them together to make an episode of consumable, like an actual episode of television or something. What's up, Halal Luffy? How's it going? So I don't think it's there yet, but it would be useful for the GIF application, breathing a little life into frozen pictures. And I think it does, Pika does a better job than Decohere, in my opinion. And this is even using the Pika 0.x. Very excited for Pika 1. My understanding is Pika 1 can go up to 7 seconds long. So in some sense better, but in other sense still not good enough. Let's go check out Stable Diffusion Video. This is the one where I did not create video for you because I could just tell it wasn't going to be worth it, but I'll run you through the analysis anyway. Good news, based on these analyses, it's better than Runway and Pika. So that's good news. Bad news, it's exclusively for research. They're only recording up to 25 frames, which is like a second or two. If you really cut the frame rate, it's like 2 seconds. If you look at video, you go over to the video tab. Video duration is 2 to 5 seconds. So these are just not the droids I'm looking for. So it's in line with what we've seen, which is these uber short videos. Kudos to Stability AI. It seems that the quality of those uber short videos is getting better, but it's still not useful for my application. And so that's why I didn't even bother with it. Okay. By the way, here's the Aria's Tale website. You can go sign up. It's early alpha right now, so it's basically just you sign up. That's like all you really do right now. In the future, there will be a ton of tools, character generators, and more. pretty much just a waitlist right now. Oops. Oh, and this is talking about SDXL Turbo, which I found to be a ton of fun, but that is an image tool rather than, and we can do a quick demo of it. So I found out about this thing SDXL Turbo, but it is it's an image generator. So let's look for manga style, a water monster that could be a Pokemon or a Digimon or a beast from Lord of the Rings. And you see how every keystroke, it's updating this thing. That one looks pretty cool, huh? So I could easily include these things in my game. And it seems to me that if you make a number of these cool images, can't you just stitch them together and have an admittedly choppy, nonetheless cool video? So I don't know. You would have to play around with it to be able to get it to have sort of similar frames. But at least you can design some really cool and cute game monsters. So I'm going to hang on to that. I will probably be using that. And the last one to investigate is, by the way, Pikalabs, you can just Google it and get on the wait list yourself. The last one to investigate is Runway. And Runway did the best. It generates 4 seconds by default, and you can do text, image, and text. You may remember this picture here is one that I uploaded. So in many cases with Aria's Tale, we will mix AI tools. That's part of the experiment. And so the image is generated, in this case, by GPT-4. That's the DALL-E model. So this is the Canon episodic battle with the Dark Dragon Paladin. Okay, and so we take this image and I'll show you a few things that I generated with Runway, but in this case, using the image and description. I don't know if I've seen this one, actually, so we may be viewing it together. Cool. So it looks kind of good. It looks kind of good, but that is not the reason that it takes the cake. So first of all, the usability is there. They also have a mobile app, okay? So it's usable to generate those 4 seconds. They have the mobile app, and I can easily extend is the reason this one takes the cake. So I can get over that 7-second mark. How do I extend it though? I thought there was just a button here. Oh, I'm looking right at it, sorry. So let's extend that. Here's a different video. I think this one was the image, animate the image, but I did not add a prompt on top. So that looks cool too. Kind of a zoom in effect there. All right. We'll come back to this one. Let me show you a bunch of other ones that I did. Okay, so scene 2 over here. That's unrelated to the game. Idle and hiding. Okay, so Runway ML has this. Is this going to play? Oh, maybe these are my uploaded PNGs. Runway ML has a marker tool where you can say animate this portion of the picture. That's another cool thing that they have. But it didn't work particularly well for me. Take a look at this. So idle in is sort of retreating. That's fair enough. However, the face gets smushed such that it no longer looks like an elf, does he? He turns from an elf into this like strange shaggy man, either a human or a dwarf. Also, the wolves get their heads smushed together. So that's basically an unusable piece. What else did I do? This one, the video is kind of cool, but I believe the prompt, a warrior can't lag out, suddenly the sky turns burnt orange, and a massive shadowy figure gives a terrifying announcement. Okay, so there's no massive shadowy figure in the sky as prompted. The warrior wears basic gear, a bronze chest plate, a spear, a shield, no helmet. So I'm trying to emphasize like a level 1 basic gear warrior, and this guy's decked out, right? And I specifically say no helmet, and it's wearing a helmet. So even though the render quality here is like pretty cool, I think this is cool, it wouldn't be usable in my context, because if I'm playing the game and then I go over to Runway ML and I plug it in and I say, draw a video of this scene, and it's doing like a distant artistic interpretation. It's not actually rendering my scene. That's not what I'm looking for. Usually that's not what I'm looking for. Occasionally that could be cool. We have in Aria's tale a couple of these bloopers where even GPT-4 is prompted to make an image and it does something goofy, and sometimes it's hilarious and enjoyable. So I think there was a desert region in the game, and I think I mentioned the word Texas, and it just went full cowboy and brought in like a pistol. There's not supposed to be any guns in this game. So I thought that was a funny blooper. In this other blooper, it's a pretty good image, except that the arrow, first of all, Eidolon is supposed to be shooting an arrow here, and you can see both ends of the arrow have the tail feathers. And then also there's arrows flying at him when no one should have been, there should be no arrows flying at him. He was the only archer. And in this case, this is arguably a prompting issue. There was supposed to be a dwarven spike attack, and the idea would be that the spike comes from the earth to attack this goblin. DAL-E rendered the dwarf spiking, which it's like, that's the kind of artistic interpretation that's kind of cool. Like, part of using generative AI is deliberate RNG and non-determinism, and trying to invite surprise and enjoyment into the game over a boxed, closed form, fully anticipated world, which is sort of like less fun and interesting. So this sort of spike attack, where it's spiking from the dwarf's body, is like arguably better than the prompt. Like, and that's one of the things that we're looking for, is when can the AI bring us something that's even cooler than what we asked for? So that one is marked as a blooper, but maybe it shouldn't be. Maybe it should be canonized. In another case, we do canonize an accident. Tank and the giant squirrel. Look at this. So the prompt here was that Tank runs into an aggressive, larger than normal size squirrel. And DALL-E respected the prompt literally, but gave us, it was sort of like wishing with the genie. When you make the wish with the genie, it's like, careful what you wish for, because the genie will follow the letter and give you something that you didn't really want or expect. I did not expect the squirrel to be bigger than the player character when I asked for it to be a larger than average squirrel. But it's totally like allowed, right? So that was canonized because it technically didn't break anything in the game world. And Tank, the player, just had to fight this like monster that was way bigger than we originally intended. And there was also no prompt for the squirrel to be having a sword and shield. GPT just gave it that. And that influences the world. Like, if you beat the squirrel, maybe you pick up a sword and shield now, right? So those are interesting and enjoyable elements, where sometimes we will consider them bloopers and push them out of the canon, and sometimes we will allow them into the canon. So maybe we should allow some of these unexpected results with video as well. And I think that's perfectly allowable. The thing that I don't consider allowable is when it directly provides content in contravention of the prompt. Okay. For example, he's not wearing a helmet, but he's wearing a helmet. It would be, I think, much more acceptable if there was some detail that I didn't ask about that the video made present, which it kind of does. It looks like there's a city on top of the cliff there. Maybe we respect that and say, oh, okay, we're going to realize and canonize that there is a cliff with a city on it, kind of, I don't know, southwest or whatever direction that is. So I do think what happened with the image here, where GPT-4 respected the prompt by the letter of the law, but took it in a different direction, there's something fundamentally more acceptable about that, where it didn't break my prompt, even if it was unexpected, versus here, it broke the prompt. It broke the prompt, and that's not cool. And you could tinker with it. Maybe I keep this, but you play with the prompt and get a better version. It's something to consider, but if I'm having to do that many times, it does not work as a just-in-time tool. We need something that, not just usually, but the vast majority, we need something highly reliable and fast for it to be a just-in-time tool. These videos take longer to make, and they're less reliable. It can become a post-production tool. So maybe we use it in that way. I'll play with it some more. But it's not a good just-in-time tool. Let's look at a few more of these. Here we have animating idling. And I think it does a much better job than Decohere. So this actually appears to be a character speaking. Although he does seem to be transforming from an elf into a human. So that seems like training set bias to me. They probably have lots of videos of humans and not very many elves, right? Maybe that helps us identify the cases where we should be using this tool is. Perhaps it's better for cases like this, where you're doing the entities under video are humans to begin with. This one starts out looking good, and then towards the end here, look at the guy on the left. He just like, it's strange warping. It's strange warping. But this was kind of cool, a phalanx of 3 warriors. Here was supposed to be a pixel art tavern barkeep. And it almost works, but look at the way he changes. How strange is this? It's like he becomes a totally different character and sort of melts into the floor in an escalator-like move. I do think that could be addressed through prompting if I just asked that he not walk, just like stay in place. That could be workable. What else do we have? A powerful wizard casting a fire spell. And this found something really interesting here. Reverse psychology seems to work with Runway ML. So here you do see he seems to be casting a fire spell on this enemy. So that looks great. But if you look at his face, the face is smudged. So I said, you know what I might be able to do is if I can get these videos to work and just have a blank face, no eyes, no nose, no mouth. And then I don't care about the warping. If it's just a flat face and it can be sort of a character doing the thing because the outfit looks good, the fire looks good, and just like blank out his face. And that would be preferable to this deformed face. So I prompted the tool to, and I'll show you the prompt, and it made the face really well. I basically told it not to render the face at all, and then it rendered the face really well. A powerful wizard unleashes an eruption of fire on the enemy. His face is flat and appears to have no eyes, nose, or mouth. It completely did the reverse. It like gave very good, it like zoomed in on his face. And Merlin is Merlining now, or Gandalf is Gandalfing. It looks great, actually, not gonna lie. So this could be highly usable, again, as a looping GIF for a character. This one is good enough that if I could stretch it out, and I don't know, if we extend it, will it keep looking good? Maybe. But this has scene potential. I think it looks good enough for scene potential. Here's another one that I thought looked good enough for scene potential. This is just entering a town from a forest. I think it has scene potential. So Runway ML, in my opinion, did the best. And then, but it's like the best is not good enough. Basically, the whole class needs to improve. The whole class. And I thought this was interesting. It almost looked like it was trained off of video from Skyrim. I said, in a medieval RPG world, a town NPC describes a quest to an elven archer. Well, there's no one describing the quest to this elven archer, is there? So there's pros and cons. And I think that's about everything I wanted to show. Oh, here, I did another reverse psychology. It's not a medieval anime. The main character is not a dual-wielding sword dancer. Like maybe it definitely made a sword dancer, didn't it? Although, what is her hand doing over here? Is she reaching for a weapon behind her, or is it just messed up? You know. All right, let's look at the extended latest one we did earlier as we came over here together. See if it looks good extended. I think that one even looks pretty good extended. So, and that's without upscaling. So there's an upscaling feature. So the best that I've found is Runway ML. It's not usable just in time. It may be usable with a lot of work in post-processing. Like two of the tools, Runway ML and Pika, are both useful for the scope of taking a picture and just breathing a little bit of life into it and then doing a looping GIF as sort of like a character or a monster, like a profile card or something like that. And potentially some environment scenes as well. So there is some scope for that. But I would still be turning that into a GIF, and I wouldn't be doing like a television episode or like a movie. I don't think the video has gotten that far. Also, this dovetails with the fact that the AI generated audio is underdeveloped. So the GIF idea seems much more on the table because you don't need audio anyway, right? So the current direction for Aria's Tale, and this could change in 6 months, the way this AI stuff is advancing, right? Gemini just came out. Gemini has fantastic audio capability. I think the text capability is like not really, I think it's not really that good. I don't even think it's as good as GPT-4. I think it's kind of overhyped. But the audio capability could enable this to change in 6 months. Maybe we will be generating either in post-processing or on the fly, like battle music. So stay tuned for that and sign up. But the current direction is that I'm going to clean up the narrative summaries from the streams. Again, check the description for the stream links. I think I did have the text in here. Maybe it's under the docs folder. Oh, there's the docs folder. There it is. So this narrative, I'm going to clean it up, and currently planning to make pictures basically. Maybe like a comic book or a manga, or just like a picture book with the text over here and the picture over here. One of those things for now in this sort of first iteration, the first saga, the first chapter, the first arc that we've recently concluded with Aria's Tale. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Got some insight into the state of generative AI video generation today, which is, for the most part, you're looking at 2 to 5 seconds and only 1 or 2 models can do a good job over that 2 to 5 seconds. Runway seems to be the best in class that is usable for my use case. Maybe look at stability video for research. And lots of things coming in the near future. So, 1, 2, 3 years, it wouldn't surprise me if you can do like TV episodes at that time. So excited for that. But the state of today is just-in-time work is pictures, and then we will explore video for post-processing, or if there's an automated way to do one of these like character GIF loops or environment loops just in time, that could be an option. I'll have to explore how I could do that. Maybe using a custom GPT or something. Follow for more. Sign up at arias-tail-rpg.vercel.app. You can also go to latterly.io. This will probably be easier and catchier. You can go to latterly.io and check out the blog. It's not there yet, but article number 5 is going to be a description of Aria's tail and how it relates to the Latterly mission, which is basically in 3 ways. 1, it's a pet project for the community to work on technically. So, and 2, it is in the gaming sphere, and there is this like gaming to programming sort of pipeline. I think those are the 2 big ways. And then maybe there's something around just generally staying on the cutting edge of AI and stuff like that. And also just for fun. Just for fun. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you later.